Soon enough, stories that the priestess had caused to Mbutu, the great sword of Ovi, traveled across the lands and beyond. It was a source of concern for the people of Ovi. They knew that the cause meant that the king had lost the backing of the gods, and they were scared for him. Mbutu, the great sword of Ovi, was the protector of the land, and any strike on him meant that the land was taken, and they lived in a time when people could easily be made slaves. And this caused unrest amongst the people, and the elders knew that something had to be done immediately. The elders in council requested for a meeting with the king, and Mbutu granted this request. During the meeting with the king, the elders tried to remind Mbutu of how Afeke, the mountain god, has been the protector of the land of Ovi for centuries. They reminded him of how Afeke had been their succor in times of famine, disease, and even war. They told Mbutu that Afeke should not be taken for granted. They suggested that the gold mines in Kukuana Kingdom be left alone. After all, the mines in Ovi were enough, and the kingdom was already very wealthy as it were. They also suggested that he summons the priestess of Afeke and apologize to her, so that the curse might be lifted and the kingdom might go back to their normal activities. The pleas of the elders fell on deaf ears. Mbutu wanted to keep the new gold mine he had just taken from the people of Kukuana. He even told the elders of his thoughts to start invading other communities and claiming their lands and treasures. He said he had no fear for the gods and their empty threats. He even said that anybody or god who could not match him in the arena or beat him at war cannot tell him how to run his kingdom. These statements from the king got the elders and even the queen worried. How can Mbutu be so disrespectful to the gods that kings before him had feared, served, and taken serious? They wanted to know the plan the king had in ensuring that he is safe, so that the minds of the people will be at rest. So Mbutu stood up from his throne and made a decree. He said, "I am Mbutu, the undefeated beast, the great sword of Ovi, and I decree today that no child of Kukuana should be allowed into the kingdom of Ovi for any reason, and no citizen of Ovi should have anything to do with the citizens of Kukuana. Let the only business we have with them be the gold mines. Anybody found breaking this law will pay the ultimate price of death." Mbutu made this decree because he felt he could outsmart the gods. Of course, if a child of Kukuana could not get access to the land of Ovi, how will he kill the king of Ovi? In order to ensure that this new law was properly enforced, he sent his son, Prince Tuala, who was now one of the generals, to guard the border, along with a few warriors. He sent them to keep watch and make sure that no citizen of Kukuana crosses into Ovi Kingdom. The elders felt that the move by Mbutu was useless, but the fact that he even made a move at all gave them relief. So they left the palace, never to bring up the topic of the curse or the gods again. But then, Evia, the queen, knew that her husband Mbutu was in big trouble.